kids, it's time again for Rory Rammer Space Marshal! Come away with us now to the far-off future days of 1985 AD, after men have landed on the moon! When Space Marshal Rory Rammer and his sidekick Skip Sagan guard the rule of law and the rights of the innocent.
From the skies of Earth to the orbit of the moon!
And now for today's episode, The Green Man's Burden. We join Rory and Skip in the flyer of Bureau of Martian Affairs, Agent Brazos,
Call me Bubba.
Beecham, speeding east from Solus Lacus City, Mars, for a ticklish treaty negotiation with the savage Aborigine leader, Two Moons.
Bad luck, Marshal. This ship of yours crash landed out in Green Engine territory.
I don't see where else the Reno could have set down. According to the map, the Aborigines own all the land for 500 kilometers downrange of the spaceport as a reservation.
You'd almost think they'd set it up on purpose like that, wouldn't you? But they get real upset about rockets setting down on their sacred land. It's
Gee, Agent Beecham, why is the chief called Two Moons? Because Mars has two moons?
You'll just have to ask him yourself, youngster. Two Moons is a heap big chief among the Green Engine, and a sly old devil. Better leave the negotiating to an expert. Whoa, there's Two Moons camp right ahead. Down we go. And there's Two Moons a-coming out of his dome now. How, Two Moons?
How what?
I see why they call him Two Moons. And it doesn't have anything to do with astronomy.
I find human children so delightful. Agent Beecham, perhaps you would be so good as to formally introduce us.
Well, sure. This young'un is Cadet Skip Sagan to the Space Marshals.
Delighted.
Which hand do I shake?
The right one, of course.
Upper or lower?
The upper one, I think.
Here goes.
As I said, delighted.
Whew.
And this here is Marshal Rory Rammer.
Always happy to meet a member of our law enforcement community.
You speak English very well, Chief.
And you're too kind. I picked it up listening to the BBC Interplanetary Service. I'm quite addicted to the beam. They'd run one situation comedy I never miss. The Royal Family Weekly Report. Perhaps you're familiar with it?
I'm afraid not, Chief. Should I call you Chief?
I'm comfortable with it. My full title is Chief Executive Officer and Chairman of the Board, the Barsoom Corporation Proprietary. But Chief is perfectly acceptable.
Barsoom Corporation?
Oh, yes. The tribe incorporated about 4 years ago. Our years, that is. We're traded on the New Tokyo Exchange.
Ain't he a caution? Now, Chief, about this big silver bird iron.
Big silver... Oh, the Reno. Yes, we have the site cordoned off. A dreadful spiritual pollution of the sacred Red Hills, don't you know? By the by, did you get our medical subsidiary's bill for rescuing the crew?
Yeah. Now, the Great White Mother on Earth is prepared to remove all the wreckage and restore the landscaping free of charge. That's our offer.
Oh, dear, dear. I don't imagine your president would care to hear herself referred to in such a fashion. And as for the offer, I believe the Pan-Martian Aboriginal Treaty of 1979 applies. I have the relevant volume tucked under my carapace here. Now let's see, Volume 4, Appendix B, Paragraph 12.2b, Roman numeral 4-E. Yes, here it is. Post facto landing fees for air/spacecraft without previously approved landing permits and/or acceptable crew and cargo manifests. Fee Schedule B lists the amounts and... Well, the Reno being in the 400,000 pound class, that comes to...
That's a lot of smooze.
I don't think the Bureau's budget can stretch to cover that this year. Or next.
We suspected as much. But the the board and I want to be reasonable about this. In lieu of a cash settlement, we are prepared to accept a transfer of real property similar to the last time.
Oh,
The last time?
The Trotsky dropped a fuel tank in the middle of the natatorium of Qatar last summer, and Two Moons settled up for...
A hotel. Quite a small one, really.
Oh, so that's why the Solus Lakers Hilton has that sign by the front door that says, Property of Barsoom Corp.
What'll it be this time, Chief? The Municipal Oxygen Works?
Agent Beecham! You wound me! No. If you will only look at this map, we are prepared to accept title to the market area west of Solus Lycus City in forfeit for any monetary claim against your bureau.
Oh, yeah, sure. Sure.
Agent Beecham?
Excellent. Then simply apply your thumbprint here, and sign here, an initial there, as a duly authorized agent of your government. Ah, thank you.
Thank you, Marshal. Sonny, you chit-chat with the chief while I radio this back to my office at SL City.
A long, narrow parcel of land you have marked out there, Chief.
The astronomical alignment with the sunrise at the summer solstice is highly significant. Theologically speaking, that is.
And it seems to coincide rather neatly with the route of the proposed Trans-Olympus Magnetic Railway I saw on the front page of the Solus Lacus News Free Press back in town this morning.
Really? I don't keep current with such matters, nor, I suspect, does Agent Beecham. Though it's possible his superiors might be aware of such a project.
Quick, Skip. We'd better grab him before he does something drastic.
I say, you don't really think he would hurt himself, do you? Do restrain him. He's something of a burden sometimes, but we're fond of him, really.
And that's all for today, kids. Join us next time for another exciting adventure and the conquest of space, which sometimes conquers right back. With Rory Rammer, Space Marshal!